It don't matter the color of the skin, either woman or man. Just let the case land. It's here, it's in safe hands. This is God work, not a fake plan. Too many kids being found in these lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss V. She keep her ear to the street, like a drum to a beat.
Welcome in, Sleuths.
This is the place that you wanna be, but all trolls we delete. You better believe. Just so you know we don't go for those that's taking these souls. We know.
So today we're going to be talking about a guy named Ryan Hinton. This is a new case that I'm just finding out about. Shout out to everybody in the building.
Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV.
Y'all, please smack that like button. Shout out to all my sleuths in the building. Shout out to all my sleuths in the bushes, too. Whether you in the bushes or in the chat, please smack that thumbs up. Drop down in the chat and let me know who's here. Shout out to my BFF in the building. I see you dropping a good fire and horns. Yes, please come through. Double tapping that screen. Or hitting those 3 dots and smacking that thumbs up. Shout out to Sleuth Nation. Yeah. So I happen to be scrolling, looking on YouTube as I do often, and I came across this video that I was shocked by. So apparently there was a police-involved shooting that I believe he's 18. He was unalived by a deputy, and then his father unalived the deputy. I guess he may have caught him in a traffic stop or something and rammed into him. We gonna get into the details together, okay? Body cam footage has been released, I do believe. So we gonna get right into it. We ain't gonna waste no time. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do. And set all notifications so you know every time I go live so you don't miss anything. And also for the people following the Naziah Harris case, I have dropped part 7 through 10 with the exclusive conversation I had with Marquita's boyfriend, which is Naziah Harris's aunt. Be sure to check that out. I shared it to the my community wall, as well as you can just go to the playlist tab and just watch. It's better to just watch it like that. It all just drops the way it should. But we're going to get right into it.
Retired sheriff's deputy is dead after police say a driver intentionally hit him. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Trisha Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams. Cincinnati police say the driver is the father of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed by police yesterday.
We have been following this story all day, and we have team coverage tonight.
Allie Hennard is at UC Medical Center.
Brady Williams attended a procession for the deputy.
But first, let's send it over to Allie with more on how this all unfolded.
Well, Rob, Trisha, that's right. So the deputy lost his life to those injuries here at UC Medical Center earlier today. Now, we do know, according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi, the driver of the vehicle that hit and killed the deputy was the father of the man killed in an officer-involved shooting yesterday. Now, police say that he's been arrested for aggravated murder.
Driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday.
Cincinnati police say the father of the 18-year-old who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police on Thursday was driving the car that hit and killed a deputy Friday afternoon. Rodney Hinton Jr. is now charged with aggravated murder for the deputy's death.
Go medical. Go medical. We need this shut down right now. Officer down. Officer down.
Cincinnati police say the deputy was directing traffic ahead of UC's graduation ceremony when he was struck by a vehicle entering the intersection. It happened around 1 p.m. at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods Drive near UC's campus.
I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job. directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many.
After 2 critical incidents in 2 days, Chief DG made a plea to the public.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm, take care of one another, and I can assure you, as the Chief of Police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation.
The deputy had recently retired from the department in December. Well, investigators said that this afternoon that he is in critical condition but is alive. Again, he has been charged, or rather arrested, for aggravated murder of hitting and killing that deputy. It is not clear when he will be in court, but again, this is a developing story. We will continue to keep you updated. At UC Medical Center with photojournalist Chris Waldman, Allie Hennard, Fox 19.
Okay, so I'm a little confused by that, and I do know that he has since passed. They didn't say that this guy was his father, but I do believe that he is. So let me see. This is what the attorney had to say. He said, our firm was hired by members of Ryan Hinton's family to conduct the investigation into his shooting death by an officer with the Cincinnati Police Department. We are in preliminary stages of the investigation. Yesterday, we attended a meeting between the family and members of the Cincinnati Police Department to view body cam footage of Ryan Hinton's shooting unaliving. So Ryan Hinton's family, including Ryan's father, was present at the meeting, and they were understandably distraught as they watched the body cam video. After the meeting with the police department, Ryan Hinton's father left in his own vehicle, and that was the last time we heard from him until learning about the tragic incident involving a law enforcement officer who was working a traffic detail near University of Cincinnati. On behalf of the Ryan Hinton's family, we offer our heartfelt condolences to family and colleagues of the officer who was unalive yesterday. Did the young man have a gun on him? We don't know yet, so we're going to keep on listening. I don't know the details. I'm just learning this information. So let's go to the next one. Welcome in, though. Thank you for dropping down.
38-year-old man is now charged with aggravated murder after police say he purposely crashed his car into a sheriff's deputy today, killing him.
Yeah, we know that the man's name is Rodney Hinton Jr. and the father, by the way, of an 18-year-old shot and killed by Cincinnati police in East Price Hill yesterday. WLWT News 5's Sean McKinnon breaking down that connection between 2 deadly incidents involving police on back-to-back days. Sean.
All afternoon today, Cincinnati police and the sheriff's department were intensely monitoring the situation here at the hospital. We asked the chief about the direct ties between these 2 deaths and the family relationship yesterday's victim has with today's suspect. At these East Price Hill condos Thursday morning, Cincinnati officers tracked down a stolen vehicle.
As you know, we had a critical incident yesterday.
4 people get out and start running. In body cam footage released today, in just 6 seconds, police say 18-year-old Ryan Hinton aims his gun at officers.
He's got to go.
Police shoot and kill him. Today on MLK Drive, a deputy is working traffic control for UC graduation when a driver crashes into him.
There is a connection between these 2 incidents. The driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday.
Chief, is the person who hit the deputy the father of the person who was shot yesterday?
Yes.
Ryan Hinton's father, 38-year-old Rodney Hinton, is charged with aggravated murder in the deputy's death. He was taken to University Hospital in critical condition. Hours later, the Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy dies. The CPD homicide unit investigating both the death of the deputy killed today and the death of the 18-year-old shot by police.
I can assure you, as the chief of police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation. Thank you.
Multiple guns and extended magazines were recovered in East Price Hill yesterday. An 18 and 19-year-old were in court today facing charges in that incident. A fourth person is wanted. None of the officers' names have been released. Reporting from UC Medical Center, Sean McKinnon.
Now, initially, when I heard this, I thought that the officer that was hit was the same one that did the shooting. And I don't think it is. It sounds like it might have been random. I'm not sure yet. Shout out to Gab. How you doing? Shout out to my sleuth in the building. Wow, unbelievable, Christopher said. Wow. So, okay, now they said that he had a weapon. I'm not sure if he did yet. Attorneys representing a man who unalived the Cincinnati police released the statement, which I just read. Ryan Hinton was one of 4 suspects in a car theft earlier on Thursday. Police fired at him, unalived him within 6 seconds. We just heard them say that when they say he pointed a weapon, but they also said he ran, and it was only 6 seconds he was running. So when did he point the weapon? Did he turn around and point the weapon? So let's keep listening. Let's keep listening. Let's see. We'll go in order.
Next tonight, authorities in Ohio say the man who allegedly rammed his car into a sheriff's deputy, killing him, did so intentionally. The suspect appearing in court today is the father of an 18-year-old killed in an officer-involved shooting on Thursday. The suspect charged with aggravated murder. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero.
Tonight, authorities say the shooting of an 18-year-old captured on police body cam is connected to the death of an Ohio deputy after that teen's father allegedly hit him with a car a day later. Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and premeditated.
Cincinnati hit him with was it the same deputy? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Hold on.
Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and premeditated. Cincinnati PD responding to reports of a stolen Kia at an apartment building. Police body cam is connected to the death of an Ohio deputy after that teen's father allegedly hit him with a car a day later. Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and premeditated. Cincinnati PD responding to reports of a stolen Kia at an apartment building Thursday morning. 4 suspects then fleeing police. Among them, 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. Body camera shows Hinton fall as he tries to run away. Police say they heard a metal clinking sound they believe was a gun.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! On your right! On your right! He's got a gun!
As Hinton emerges from behind a dumpster, authorities say another officer firing 4 or 5 shots.
The officer says that he saw the suspect point the firearm at him.
Yes. Just 6 seconds passed between when police arrived and gunshots rang out. Officials say they tried administering medical aid. Hinton was struck twice and died. Investigators saying this gun was recovered from the scene allegedly found in Hinton's possession. On Friday, a day after that shooting and 2 hours after the Hinton family reviewed the body camera footage, according to the family's lawyer, a driver crashing a car into a Hamilton County deputy directing traffic near a commencement ceremony, killing him. The suspect, authorities say, is Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Hinton's attorney calling the officer's death a horrific tragedy. At his first court appearance today, Hinton walked through a room packed with law enforcement. He's now charged with aggravated murder. The Hamilton County Sheriff says the deputy's death was a tremendous loss. Hinton Jr. is currently being held on no bail. His bond hearing scheduled for Tuesday.
Let me see what y'all saying. Do y'all know about this case? Do y'all know? It sounds like it was a random deputy. Unbelievable, an innocent young man died. It's not the same innocent. Wait. It's not the same deputy. The video isn't correct. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if it's the same deputy or not. oh my God, these young people are crashing out. Different cop who got taken out. So it was just random. It definitely sounded like it because it's like, I mean, what's the odds of running into the exact cop? Because usually they be on administrative leave and all of this kind of stuff. So he left from viewing the body cam footage and did that. I'm not sure. I gotta see the body cam footage. I'm not sure if that was a weapon or not. In his hand. Hold on.
The separate session of the Hamilton County Municipal Court is now in session. Judge Tyrone Yates is presiding this morning. We ask that you turn off all cell phones. You may be seated. Please remain quiet during all proceedings.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Alan. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Alan. First case load out to Rodney, Hinton.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's a fact. Both families lost somebody.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Good morning.
He said good morning, Judge. He's a very hospital.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right.
Yep, Gap.
Anything as to probable cause?
Yeah, we'll waive probable cause this morning. I submitted designations for John Kennedy and Timothy Bignell. They will be the attorneys of record handling Mr. Hinton's case. I'll be handling the arraignment this morning.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, or anything as to
as to bond, Your Honor. Thank you. Your Honor, we understand this is a very, very serious, very terrible charge that Mr. Hinton is facing. He has but he does not have a history, Judge. He has no felonies in his record. His risk sentence score was a 1. He had a juvenile record. He works at BDF. He's married. He's a father. He's a graduate of Purcell Marion. I understand that this is an emotionally charged situation. I understand that Mr. Hinton's son may have been killed by the police earlier in the week. There was a review of that video. I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but in the community at large. And we just ask the court to set a reasonable bond in light of everything to allow the constitutional process to play out.
All right, thank you. Andy, you've given me a pre-trial services sheet. Is that right this morning? All right, the court has had a chance to review that and his past history. Is there anything from the state that will be prosecuted?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the
Could
prosecution.
you give us more volume, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the prosecution. What we believe that the evidence will show is that yesterday, on about the 2nd of May, the defendant was traveling, I believe, to be eastbound on Martin Luther King Avenue at MLK, I believe at Burnett Woods, at the intersection, I believe immediately north to the rear entrance of the University of Cincinnati. The defendant stops his car. The defendant, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his car, and purposely caused the death of an on-duty deputy sheriff who was doing a detail at that intersection. As such, we are going to be seeking indictment for aggravated murder, and we would request, in accordance with ORC 2937-222, for a no bond hearing. That rule requires that hearing be set within 3 business days, so we are seeking to set that date on the 6th of May of 2025, that'll be next Tuesday.
Well, dang, I didn't even know that was about to go off. Okay, so let me read this right quick. And then I think, yeah, we'll watch this. Let me come back over here. Welcome in, y'all. Please smack the thumbs up. So the father knew, dang, I jumped. The father knew which officer he was. That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, was that the officer that actually did it? But it sounds like it was just a random cop that was directing traffic for something for college. But usually when an officer involved shooting happens, the officer usually get put on administrative leave. And so that's what it sounded like to me. I don't think that it's the same. I think that it was just an officer. He said they said he was leaving from when they were viewing the body cam footage, and he was left on his own. And that was right there, I guess. And he just lost it, I guess. Hold on. Let's see what they saying. This is coming from CNN. And they are saying it was calculated. They said the driver, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car deliberately, accelerating his car, and purposely caused the unalive other deputy, prosecutor, attorney said. Okay, so it appears from everybody who was on the scene that he deliberately struck the deputy in attempts to unalive him. Prosecutors are seeking an indictment for the aggravated murder. So the defendant, Rodney Hinton Jr., 38 years old, is the father of a man that was fatally shot. And it says here that Ryan Hinton, the son, he had just turned 18 a few weeks ago. The family attorney, Michael Wright, said, who described him as fun loving and a good kid, adding the circumstances surrounding the interaction with the police there. Okay, so Hinton Jr. son was armed and fleeing from a stolen vehicle. I'm gonna say alleged, because I mean, just thinking about how the reporting is done, looking at the Carmelo Anthony case and how that was done, we don't know. No video was even shown in that, and they were saying that he is this and he did that. And even in court, they say alleged. So I'm going to say alleged because I don't know if he did or not. And so Hinton Jr.'s son was allegedly armed and fleeing from a stolen vehicle. I just seen in the chat somebody said that he was a passenger. It's crazy. If you in a stolen vehicle, you definitely going to be looked at as everybody else, even if he didn't have nothing to do with it. He could have been picked up or anything. I don't know what type of teen he was. I don't know if he was known to do things like this, but I do know that they said it was a stolen vehicle. They looking for a fourth person, and within 6 seconds all of this happened. So I don't know what happened for real. We could assume because I mean 6 seconds is real quick. And I wonder how many cops was it? What made them zero in on him specifically? But we'll have to see. I'm going to see if I can find the body cam footage. Hinton Jr. was armed and fleeing. Okay, so the family reviewed the footage between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Friday. And the father was very distraught, according to Wright. We just heard what he said. So at this point in investigation, circumstances of Ryan being fired upon and unalive by the police, Wright said, adding that he has met with the chief. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see what they're going to tell us.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us here this evening. Gathered to give you An update on an incident that you're aware of, I'm sure, happened earlier this afternoon, approximately 1 p.m. We had an auto accident at Martin Luther King, Burnett Woods Drive, where a Hamilton County deputy was struck. He was outside his vehicle conducting traffic enforcement. He was struck by a vehicle. It saddens me tremendously to make you aware that he has since passed. I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many. What is significant also to know about this auto accident, as you know, we had a critical incident yesterday in the city of Cincinnati, an officer-involved shooting at approximately 9 a.m. yesterday morning. There is a connection between these two incidents. The driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday. So that is currently under investigation by both our homicide unit as well as the traffic unit. Traffic unit and homicide are jointly investigating the traffic accident. Again, it saddens me to report out that we lost a law enforcement officer in the city today, in this county. My heart goes out to his family, to the Hamilton County deputies and the sheriff and her leadership team standing here with me today, and to all the members of their organization. With that, I'm gonna let the sheriff say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. It is a very sad day. It's a very sad occasion. And the very first thing I want to do is offer my condolences to the family and friends of our deputy. The men and women, that you see here behind me, all knew our deputy, and he was so well liked and so well known. We could fill this building with the law enforcement agencies that respect him, love him, his friends, his family. We are so deeply saddened. I want to thank the Cincinnati Police Department, Chief Thigi, her men and women. As I understand it, one of the first people to reach our deputy and render aid was a Cincinnati police officer. And he worked and did his best for our deputy, and we will forever be bonded for that effort. I want to thank the community for paying attention and supporting us. We need support. Please support us.
Shout out to
Please support
313.
our deputy, who I can
How
tell
you doing,
you,
Sloop?
I knew the man, and I knew what a tremendous, tremendous person he is, and what a tremendous loss we have all suffered. Cincinnati Police Department is in charge of this investigation. Therefore, they are the lead agency. They will answer any and all questions regarding any investigation surrounding the death of our deputy. And I just can't express to you how sad, how incredibly sad we all are, and what an incredibly wonderful and dedicated deputy this man was.
Welcome in, Ready
So
Man.
thank you very much.
In keeping with the establishment of Marcy's Law, we are not going to be releasing the deputy's name at this time, but I will take a few questions.
Chief, given the relationship to yesterday's shooting, is this being the investigation being treated as a homicide investigation?
Right now, it is still under investigation to determine exactly what it is, but since the homicide unit was the lead on yesterday's incident, they are involved in a joint effort with the traffic unit on today's incident.
And is there any description of how the vehicle entered the intersection or anything along those lines that can be released at this time?
Yeah, not at this time. Too preliminary at this time. Too early.
That is accurate. Our deputy had just retired just a few months ago and continued on in service as a special deputy with all of his experience. We were incredibly glad to have him.
Chief, is the person who hit the deputy the father of the person who shot yesterday?
Yes. I do not know at this time.
I think they said a Kia if they asked about the make of the stolen vehicle.
Yes, we will have a procession. I can tell the public and all of law enforcement out there that our deputy will not be alone. He is not alone. He will not be alone. There will be someone with him until the day that he transitions to higher ground. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Real quick, I do want to, one last comment. So this community, not just the law enforcement community, but this community in our city, in our county, has had 2 critical incidents in 2 days. I do have a plea to everybody. Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm, take care of one another. And I can assure you, as the chief of police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation.
All right. So I want to get into what they're saying about his son. What happened? Let me see. I don't think they should be so quick to judge coincidence or accident. Nobody knows except for the dad. Yep. It's way too early to say. Like I'm not trying to argue nothing. I'm just trying to get the details, find out, what's going on, what's being said. I haven't seen the body cam footage or anything, but we know instances where they say that they had weapons and they didn't. So, I mean, and we also see by other cases I covered, and definitely the Carmelo Anthony case, how the public is already crucifying the man, the families, and all of this stuff based off of what the news and stuff is reporting. But we also know that when they quickly release body cam footage, it also means that it works in their favor. So, I mean, did he have it or not? I don't know. I haven't heard anybody talking about it yet or anything like this. So I don't know what people are saying, and I'm a look to see that too. What are people saying? What is the obviously we see what his father felt. Let's see. It's unfortunate though, because the person that is unalive, I mean, the cop, it doesn't sound like he had nothing to do with this particular incident. So it says the police, it happened in 6 seconds. So in a news conference on Friday, the details the police encountered on Thursday that resulted in an 18-year-old's death, showing footage of the body cam of the officer who fired the fatal shot. So the man was among 4 suspects discovered in a stolen vehicle in a parking lot in a Cincinnati East Price Hills neighborhood. All 4 fled when uniformed officers arrived, and the 18-year-old was seen holding a gun, the chief said. One of the officers fired on the 18-year-old as he emerged from between 2 dumpsters. The body cam video showed. On the footage, moments before the shooting, another officer can be heard yelling, "He got a weapon." So he's got a gun on your right, he said. So the officer said after the shooting that the 18-year-old appeared to point the gun at him. The officer said after the shooting that the 18-year-old appeared to point the gun at him. So did he fire on him again? He said it after the shooting. All right. So when an individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. it was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And the officer, felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged the firearm. Okay. So the officer is believed to have fired 4 to 5 shots, 2 of which are believed to have hit this teen. So the police body cam footage played at the news conference does not clearly show the fleeing man pointing a weapon at the officer. Why not? That's the problem right there. The body cam footage played at the news conference does not clearly show the fleeing man point a weapon at the officer. The footage is very blurry. It's a very blurry image. Why? Unfortunately, because the body cam was kind of jolting as the officer was running. Perfect. And that's kind of what it looked like to me. What little I did see, it looked very distorted. So that's the problem. It don't clearly show it. They should have a 4K, 5K footage for these body cams. They also shouldn't have no moments of silence or the option to turn them off. So this is what the problem is. Let me see what y'all saying so far. Have anybody seen the body cam footage in the chat? You saw it. Oh, okay. And look, I just asked, and there you go. So what? That's a lie. Same old excuse. I fear for my life. Always gonna say that. They always gonna say that. So what did you see, Chocolate 313? Did you think he had a weapon? Well, the police are saying he was pointing it at him, and that's not what I saw. Okay, there it is. That's the problem. His father crashed out because he didn't see it either. And then he probably remember all of these other instances where he's heard this before. And he didn't want his son to be another number. He crashed out. Wow. What? So the body cam footage don't show it. What other angles? How many cameras did they show? How many cameras did they show? Because it was more than one cop, right? The vehicle has body cam has footage. The cop car has footage, and each cop has a body cam. Anyway, here we go. So when the individuals came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm pointing in front of him. Okay, in a blading position. Let me see. The police body cam footage played at the news conference. Of course, it wasn't clear. It was blurry image. Unfortunately, because the body cam was jolting, okay, as he was running. So the recovery of the handgun with an extended clip, they say the 18-year-old was carrying, said the gun had not been fired. The officer who opened fire has been with the Cincinnati police for more than 10 years and was assigned to the Fugitive Apprehension Squad in the department's Special Investigation Section. So the chief said the officers tried to save the gentleman's life by administering different variations of medical aid until other emergency officials arrived. The defendant, the officer's actions, stressing how quickly the scene unfolded. I want to point out from the time they bailed from the vehicle. That's crazy, man, because I don't know why he would have been holding a weapon. They was in a stolen vehicle. It was 9:00 in the morning in an empty parking lot. Where was they headed? What was they doing? Was he the one that stole the car? How long had the car been stolen? Was it just stolen? Or had they had it a couple days? You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering, like, what alerted them to them, unless I missed it. But let me keep reading. So I want to point out, from the time they bailed from the vehicle and the police were chasing them to the time the individual was shot, 6 quick seconds, calling that unreasonable to expect the officers to process and determine the different course of action in such a short time. Yeah, would it been that quick? I question if he seen what he thought he seen. Or was it placed thereafter? Like, I mean, we know that this stuff happened. So, I mean, if you don't see it on the footage, that's a problem. But of course, the officer that was directing traffic didn't have nothing to do with that. I'm believing, because usually this cop was retired, so usually an active cop don't do that kind of stuff. They usually be active doing what the active cop do, right? So So the shooting remained under investigation, but yet everybody is saying, that he had it undoubtedly and all this stuff. A tremendous loss. Okay, so Hamilton County, Charmaine McGruffy described the fallen deputy as, okay, so we heard that. Cincinnati residents to remain patient. We heard her say that. And so what I want to find is the body cam footage. I don't know if it's, let's see if I can find it. Let me see what y'all saying. This Hinton family versus Cincinnati police, just like Hatfields versus McCoy. Pesticide. Well, welcome in. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Happy Sunday, Miss Patty. How you doing? Good seeing you. What did you cook today? I bet it was something good. I'm hungry just seeing your name, Miss Patty. I ain't ate nothing yet, but some veggies. Let's see. Y'all, please hit the thumbs up if y'all didn't yet. And subscribe to the channel.
Thank you.
Wait, was that the last? No, that ain't the last video. Okay, let me move this.
News. And that breaking news, a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy hit by a car while directing traffic. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palillo. We are now learning that deputy is in critical condition. A few officers telling me,
we
quote,
know he passed,
extremely critical condition. All of this unfolding just a short time ago along Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods. And that's where we find WLWT
Oh,
News
you
Vice
did
Brian
leftover
Hamrick. Brian, what can you tell us about this crash?
Yeah, Cherie, well, that's exactly where we are. We right at that intersection of MLK and Burnett Woods. And let me show you exactly what's happening. There's a pretty good vantage point from here, really the only place where you can see exactly what's happening here. You can see this vehicle. This is a dark colored vehicle. This is where all the activity has been. They have not sent anyone up to tell us exactly what is happening here. So I'm going to show you what's happening, at least with the investigation part of it. See that vehicle? The front of it appears to be smashed into this pole right here at MLK and Burnett Woods. It was a very powerful impact. The tire is underneath of it. The side of that vehicle is smashed in. They've now started putting evidence markers on the side of that vehicle. Officers have been out here all day long. Let me give you a little bit of sound from what officers heard when they began to respond to this call.
Units responding to Burnett and East Martin Luther King. It's going to be an off-duty
Trigger
officer
warnings,
involved
y'all.
accident. Burnett and King. It is confirmed officer down. Confirmed officer down.
Yeah, now we have confirmed that the deputy who was hit was recently retired from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. He was on a special duty here. His name's not been released, and we have not been officially given his condition. Now, this is a very busy area, and it was really busy with a lot of people out here because This was right between the two graduations. There had already been one graduation here at UC. They were preparing for a second graduation. Altogether, there were more than 7,000 graduates at the UC for this spring ceremony. Today, many of those were there along with their parents and family members. So this was a busy area. That's why they had deputies out here for these special details. Now, if you take a look at this crosswalk here where people would have been going back and forth to get to the stadium, which were probably maybe a quarter mile from where people would have entered the stadium from this area. This is a major crosswalk, and a lot of people came back and forth through this area. There are a couple of parking garages here. That's where we are. We're actually on the third floor of a parking garage up here. But if you take a look at this scene, this was a very powerful collision because there's a box that's on the ground right beside of this vehicle over here. You can see that. That, I believe, is one of those boxes that deputies use to change the lights to let traffic through or pedestrians across. I saw some deputies who were manning those today, and they were using that box. We don't know if that's what the deputy was doing here, but that was a powerful collision, and the bumper to that vehicle is probably 20 yards away in the grass over here. So we haven't been told a lot, but I can tell you this was a very powerful collision just by what we can see here. Reporting live, Brian Hemrick, WLWT News 5.
All right, Brian, so many developments and so many things to learn that we will be getting an update on shortly. Thanks.
Okay, I'm looking. I think I might have found some body cam footage here.
All right, we want to get you to some breaking news right now near the University
Wait, let me do this right quick, y'all. I gotta.
of Cincinnati, where we are hearing that a deputy was hit by a vehicle while directing traffic. This is a map of where this incident occurred about 1 o'clock this afternoon. We are getting confirmed reports from Hamilton County, the sheriff's office. We have a crew there right now. We want to get to Brian Hamrick, who's been on the scene and is there right now listening in. Brian, what have you learned?
Yeah, Ashley, we know this was a Hamilton County deputy, and we know that they were hit. We were told that this deputy was directing traffic when this happened. Now, take a look at the scene here. Now, this is on MLK, down at the bottom of the hill there where you kind of go into Burnett Woods. This was a very busy area. This whole area has been really busy all afternoon. Remember, this is just on the south side of the UC campus where they have had two separate graduations today. One started at 9 in the morning. The other one set to begin about an hour from now at 3 o'clock. So this area has been packed with traffic all day long. The FOP tells us that this deputy was at this intersection down here directing traffic. We're not sure what happened, but the deputy was apparently hit. Right now, they have this whole area south of the UC campus, starting at about Green, Bishop, if you know those streets, and it's blocked off all the way down through MLK to Burnett Woods. They're not letting anyone in there. Down there's where that accident apparently took place.
Okay,
what
Gab.
we can see from where we are is a vehicle that's kind of sitting very awkwardly into the median over there or up on a tree, but you can tell there's been something has happened over there. We have no information on the deputy's condition or exactly what led to this accident down here. But again, there were lots of pedestrians. That is right where there's a crosswalk. And I know we were here for the ceremony earlier at 9, left out of here. There were deputies on about every corner directing traffic, trying to keep people from interacting with the traffic because these roads were not shut down at the time. There were just roads. The roads were open and the people were here. They have more than 7,000 graduates today. That means 7,000 people with all of their family members who have come up into this area. So you're talking about, at least this morning, Nippert was the whole bottom bowl of that was nearly packed for the early morning graduation. And you'll probably have a similar scene this afternoon. So a lot of people are heading to that ceremony as we speak. but this area completely shut down. And that means the gridlock that was coming into the area anyway is even worse than it was before. So anyone trying to get into this ceremony is going to have even more difficulty, especially if you're trying to approach from the south. But it's jammed up all the other roads near the hospital, all the ones near the Board of Education, all of those roads off of Highland. Those roads are jammed as well because this is all shut down. Martin Luther area where we needed to go. But that's what they were here to do. They were here to help people. They were here to direct traffic and try and make this as smooth as possible. But, you know, there's so many cars, there's so many people, and what went wrong, that's what investigators are trying to determine right now. But I want to point out, if you can see this vehicle, it appears to be where the main activity of this event appears to be surrounding this dark colored vehicle that you can see down there. There's tape around it, and it's sitting very awkwardly off to the side of the road there. It looks like it's kind of lurched up.
Let me go
The
on
back
to
end
the-
appears to be higher than the front end.
Just look at this body cam footage.
And now at 5, we're getting a look at what prompted a deadly police shooting in East Price Hill. Yesterday, a Cincinnati police officer shot and killed someone running from police. Police Chief Teresa Thigi says the suspect was armed and was pointing a gun at the officer. WCPO 9 News reporter Connor Steffen's been following this story closely since it happened yesterday. Connor. News reporter Connor Steffen's been following this story closely since it happened yesterday. Sir, WCPO 9 News reporter Connor Steffen's
That
been
went by so dang on fast. I see him right there. I can't tell if that's a gun or a phone, or if it's anything. But I do see him between the dumpsters. Look, I ain't even letting it play yet. Okay, let me let it.
WCPO 9 News reporter Connor Steffen's been following this story closely since it happened yesterday. Connor, what does the body camera footage show you?
Tanya, according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi, officers had just seconds to respond to the threat. Body camera footage that we reviewed earlier during a press conference backs that up. The time between when officers first arrived on scene Thursday and the moment shots were fired is just 6 seconds.
So for them to
It's like it skipped.
The time between when officers first arrived on scene Thursday and the moment shots were fired.
I don't see, I can't tell. Wow, man.
Thursday and the moment shots were fired.
Y'all see a weapon? I don't see nothing. Let me see what y'all saying. I don't see nothing. No weapon. Ed Texas said. I don't see nothing. It looked like his hand's in his pocket or something because his pocket is moving with his hand, or is something weighing down his pocket or something. It looked like it's something there, but I don't see nothing pointing at nobody. I don't. Look, he was already shielding from the bullets right there by the time he stepped. Man, I don't see nothing. I don't. He ran. He was trying to hide. But I don't see no weapon. Wait, well, let me see if I'm gonna edit this, and I'm sure maybe we don't have a full everything. I seen him crawling like just now. Let me see. Dang, that happened so quick. I'm gonna need to edit this, magnify it, bring it closer to me so I could see if it was in his hand. But I can promise you I can magnify it though. I need to slow it. Man, it's always like this. It's always like this. I don't see a damn thing. Okay, so BFF don't see it. Miss Patty don't see it. Ed Texas don't see it. I don't see it. And that damn cop, how he see it? It looked like he was trying to duck and cover, not point exactly. I mean, I don't see it, and just because it was one on the ground don't mean it was his. And if it was on the ground, it wasn't in his hand. It wasn't being pointed. How did I know it wasn't gonna be crystal clear? Hold on. Wait, I forgot what we doing here. Let me do this. Man, now let's play it in real time. It go even quicker. Like, I mean, cops are not superhuman where they have vision better than anybody in the world. Like, they are not superhuman, okay? They got regular eyes like everybody else, so I'm not, you could assume all you want.
The time between when officers first arrived on scene Thursday and the moment shots were fired
Get out of here.
is just 6 seconds.
If he was pointing,
So for them to,
if he was pointing, it would have been pointing right there when he was at the corner of that dumpster. We would have seen it.
process and determine a different course of action, I think is unreasonable.
Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi says all 4 suspects ran into the woods in different directions when 2 officers rolled up to the stolen car. One officer chased the armed suspect. The other officer a different suspect.
And that'll be significant here in a moment.
Within seconds of running.
Wait a minute. Let me see something. What made them approach the vehicle in the first place?
One officer chased the armed.
Because look. Was that before or after? I wonder if that's how they just put up. They just put up on them like that. Somebody must have called, or did somebody call, or did they just see 4 black men in the car and assume that it was something criminal? I'm just trying to figure out what made them approach the car. Was they looking for it? Was it reported? I don't know.
Suspect. The other officer, a different suspect.
And that'll be significant here in a moment.
Within seconds of running, the armed suspect falls. The officer chasing him reports seeing a gun.
This individual gets up, still has the firearm in his hand.
See, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't tell if that was a weapon or not.
And continues to run through the dumpsters.
On the other side of the dumpster is the other officer chasing a different suspect.
He's got a gun. He's got a gun. On your right. On your right.
According to police interviews, that officer said the armed suspect emerged from the dumpsters pointing a gun at him.
And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
Chief,
where was he pointing it at, though?
CG says the officer fired off 4 or 5 shots, hitting the armed suspect twice. Police attempted first aid, but the person later died.
This is where we have to go to the state of mind of the officer at the time. What are they seeing, feeling, hearing? If they feel like their life or somebody else's life is in danger, they have a responsibility to stop that threat.
That sounds like full immunity to me. If they feel like, it don't even have to be true. If they feel like it is, that's enough. And that's absolutely why it's best not to run from them, because they already scared and they can always say that and always get away with it. And you definitely don't want to give them a reason. But sometime it happened and you don't give them a reason. So I still don't know if he had the weapon or not. So yeah, I know it's a stolen vehicle, but did they get a call about a stolen vehicle? We could assume that they did, but we don't know. I'm talking about evidence. I'm not talking about what they telling us. I know what they telling us. But a lot of times, me as a content creator reporting crime for 5 years, come July, I have ran into a lot of what the news said versus the evidence, and it's not true because they going off of police reports and stuff that the cop said before really looking at the evidence completely. But I do know when they come out quick with footage, it usually is in their favor. So let's keep going.
The 2 suspects in custody were arraigned Friday morning. 18-year-old Jarrell Austin and 19-year-old D'Anthony Bullocks face charges of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business.
When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic.
Receiving stolen.
No one wins, and everyone involved is affected.
Court records show Austin was already facing 4 other charges for a shooting back in October. As for Bullocks, his juvenile court records show he was convicted of felonies and sentenced twice to custody in the Department of Youth Services. Chief Thigi says officers found a second gun inside the stolen car. I also asked her about that 4th suspect still at large tonight. She says police are still searching for him. We're live in the West End. Connor Steffen.
Okay, they got me confused on the receiving stolen property. Did they steal the car or did somebody else steal it and they used the car? I'm really confused on the receiving stolen property part. Because shouldn't they been charged with car theft?
D'Anthony Bullocks face charges of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business.
When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic. No one wins, and everyone involved is affected.
Court records show Austin was already facing 4 other charges for a shooting back in October. As for Bullocks, his juvenile court records show he was convicted of felonies and sentenced twice to custody in the Department of Youth Services. Chief Theege says officers found a second gun inside the stolen car. I also asked her about that 4 suspects still at large tonight. She says police are still searching for him. We're live in the West End. Connor Steffen, WCPO 9 News.
Okay, I'm going to look and see what people are saying, if anybody know them personally.
Thank you so much. We are leading the way on that breaking news today. Cincinnati police sharing new details about a chase that led to a suspect being shot and killed by police over in East Price Hill.
The mayor and Cincinnati's police chief sharing body camera video of the incident. WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak heard from Chief Theege directly. Danielle, what did that video show?
Yeah, Stephen, this all unfolded very, very quickly. We're talking about 6 seconds from the time that officer got out of his vehicle until he shot and killed that armed suspect. So I want to have you take a look at some of this video as I explain to you what Chief Theege broke down for us today. So she said this all started with a stolen Kia out of Edgewood, Kentucky that was spotted at the complex on Warsaw Avenue. When officers arrived, they saw 4 suspects take off running. Theege said officers took different suspects to follow. One suspect was armed with a gun, and at one point, with officers saying he did hit the ground and that gun hit the ground. That person then ran between the dumpsters, and officers yelled out that that person had a gun. Another officer who was chasing another person at the time came in contact with that armed suspect, and that's when that officer fired off 4 to 5 shots. That man was hit twice and then was given medical care right away, but he did die. Officers did find a gun on him with an extended magazine and another in his pocket.
Unfortunately, this is a potential outcome when you interact with police and you are armed with a weapon, whether it's an edged weapon, a firearm, or if you fail to comply, you're armed and you fail to comply with what an officer says. This is where we end up. And it is unfortunate. It is preventable. And no officer wants to go through this. I don't want families to go through this. But at the end of the day, we have to provide the safest city that we can provide.
Now, Theege did go on to say that during an interview, the officer said that the suspect pointed a gun at him. He did feel threatened, and he did feel threatened for his life. Now, we also learned that there was another stolen gun found in that stolen car. Lots to unpack here, and we'll have much more coming up for you later on at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live, Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Danielle Dindak leading the way for us on this story. Danielle, thank you so much. Now, there were other suspects involved here. 2 of them in that stolen vehicle were eventually apprehended, and they made their first court appearances this morning. Jarrell Austin and DeAnthony Bullocks are accused of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business. A 4th person is still on the run. Austin is being held on a $50,000 bond. Bullocks' bond is set at $40,000.
Thank you so much. We are leading the way on that breaking news today. Cincinnati police sharing.
I'm still looking for more information.
Now give us an update to the deadly police shooting in East Price Hill yesterday.
It all started as officers investigated 4 people for stealing a car. Let's go to that press conference. Cincinnati Mayor Aftab Jurabal at the podium now.
In a shooting in East Price Hill that resulted in the death of 1 man. I'm here with Police Chief Teresa Theege, Councilmember Scotty Johnson, City Solicitor Emily Smart Warner, and Assistant City Manager John Brzezina. We as a city take the loss of life extremely seriously in every circumstance. It is always a tragedy, and it's a tragedy here today. And the processes we have in place because of the collaborative agreement are here to ensure transparency and clarity as we move forward. At the top, I want to thank our police department and all the first responders for their work to keep surrounding residents safe during this incident and during the ensuing search for the remaining suspects. As with every officer-involved shooting, there will be an investigation into this incident with the Citizens Complaint Authority and CPD running parallel investigations. As always, we are committed to a thorough process in accordance with the collaborative, and I'm confident that the CCA, our police department, and our city administration will direct these investigations with transparency and clarity. Thankfully, all the responding officers were unharmed. Thank you, and I will now invite Teresa Thigi to speak.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Before I start with the presentation itself,
Okay, this is what I'm looking for.
I want
right
to
here.
say, when an incident like this one that happened yesterday occurs, the impact is felt long after the moment itself. The emotional toll doesn't
Welcome
end
in,
quickly.
Alma.
It lingers with the families, the officers, and the community for an extended period of time.
Let me see what y'all saying right quick. Alma said everyone double tap the screen. Yes, y'all please smack that thumbs up. BFF said hit the reactions. Y'all please show some love. Smack the thumbs up if you haven't. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Yep, all in 6 seconds. I didn't either, Alma. I didn't slowed it down, took it back, and all of that stuff. Obstruction of official business so they don't stop the cops for getting someone else. Now, I'm trying to figure out why they didn't charge them with car theft. So I was trying to figure out if they was actually the one that stole the car. Now, I'm just saying, like, in some instances where people, they might, somebody else took it, or it could have been a clucker car or something, and then they decided to report it stolen because they were supposed to bring it back. You know, I just wonder the full details. So let's see what we gonna learn from this.
Officers across the country confront dangerous situations every day, sometimes more than once a day. They are often compelled to make split-second decisions to protect others and themselves when faced with immediate threats. Yesterday was one of those occurrences. Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic. No one wins, and everyone involved is affected. As I review the sequence of events from yesterday, you'll see exactly how rapidly these things evolved, and it will permanently alter the lives of everyone involved.
I didn't see nothing either, Ed. I did not see a weapon.
So to give you an idea, this is 2500 Warsaw. I'm going to step out in front for a minute. Warsaw Avenue is down here. This is the long driveway. It goes up a hill. Where the incident occurred is at the dead end of the parking lot back here. You'll see vehicles there now. You'll see a photo. The stolen car that we're going to talk about was backed into a parking spot back there. As you can see, this is a stolen Kia. It was stolen out of northern Kentucky yesterday. You can see we have two uniformed cars there. Prior to those uniformed cars arriving, we had two undercover cars that pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They backed out. They saw that there were individuals inside the vehicle, so they backed out and let the uniformed cars make the approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way the officers are trained. We are trained to use our vehicles as cover from any threat. That's what those officers did with the cars at that time. This is body-worn camera from officer number 2. Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay. So you're looking at officer number 2, gun drawn, circling around to the Kia behind this trash can right now. We've dropped the audio because we are told there is some cursing, some swearing in this, and we don't want to have that aired. But you're seeing the perspective from this officer approaching the suspect.
All 4 individuals get out and start running, some in different directions. So officers decide which individual they're going to pursue. One officer decides to pursue the individual who we now know had a firearm in his hand. The other officer pursued another occupant that fled from the vehicle. And that'll be significant here in a moment when you see. So this is a still image. Again, I'm going to step out front. The car is parked over this way, okay? They are chasing the individual. So officer number 1 is chasing this guy right here. Okay, this is the guy we ultimately end up shooting. The other officer who actually fires the shot on this individual is chasing a different individual further out this way, in this direction. Okay, as this officer is chasing him, he sees a firearm in his hand and he yells, "Gun, gun," he's got a gun. This individual slips, trips, whatever, falls on the concrete right here. Other officers that were also there say in their interview, they heard the firearm hit the concrete. They heard the metal from the firearm hit the concrete. This individual gets up, still has the firearm in his hand, and continues to run through the dumpsters. Go ahead, Bob.
Again, we're bringing the audio down because there is potentially language that we do not want aired. And just a warning, we have been told that this video is not blurred. We don't know how much of this they are planning on showing. We just want to give you that heads up.
Oh.
This officer knows that there's another officer here that is going to ultimately encounter him when he comes through the dumpsters. So he makes him aware of that. He shouts out to him, "On your right, on your right." He's on your right.
Trigger warnings, and I'm hoping they don't show nothing because that I'm not trying to see anything besides a weapon in his hand. A whole lot happened in 6 seconds.
And that's where this individual comes out from between the dumpsters. This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
All right, again, bringing the audio down here, and this video is not blurred. This is the first time we are seeing this, as well as many of you.
How far is it from where he at?
Behind there, anticipating, and that's when he does fire those shots that ended up being deadly. Let's listen back into the chief.
We're chasing him.
Oh my God, the father was there to
It's just a
see
photo
that.
of it here at Criminalistics. Remember I told you he fell on the concrete and the officer said that they heard the metal hit the ground? There are 3 spots on here where this gun has scratches on it. We believe those occurred when he hit the ground with the firearm.
What type of firearm is that, Chief?
Semi-automatic. I don't know the make and model. This is a second. Sorry, Bobby, can you go back 1 frame, please? This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds. Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket, his jacket pocket. And that is the magazine from that second magazine. This is another firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident.
Also, they did allegedly
So
steal
because
the
we are
vehicle.
still attempting to
What did
100%
she say again?
on timelines, this was a firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident. So because we are still attempting to 100% verify the individual's identity, the individual who we shot, we're going to list him as John Doe until we can 100% verify that for you.
Then. They saying John Doe.
The other 3 individuals that were in the car all ran. This was an extensive search for these individuals. I don't know if anybody's familiar with 2500 Warsaw. It is steep terrain, both directions from that parking lot, heavily wooded. They ran into that area in different directions. And we happen to have as hours of the day that we had several canines available and our drone operators available. So we deployed both of those, got some assistance from community members who were calling us, and we ultimately apprehended this gentleman as well as this gentleman. We still have another person we're looking for. We are attempting to positively identify him and will continue to search for him. As you know, per Marcy's law, we're not going to reveal the officers' names, the officers who were involved, but here is their information. Been on almost 11 years, fugitive apprehension, been on almost 24 years, fugitive apprehension. This is the scene afterwards. I want to point out this incident, from the time they bailed from the vehicle and police were chasing them to the time the individual was shot, 6 seconds. 6 quick seconds. But the officer's responsibility didn't end there. They did very admirably trying to save this gentleman's life by administering different variations of medical aid until the fire department responded. And this is the, you can see the medical debris, and then this is where the firearm was. Okay, we'll take a few questions.
The suspect, it was very difficult to see, really shows how volatile the situation is. But it was difficult for us to see
Show the medical debris.
The
I wasn't
suspect
looking, y'all. Not that.
pointed his
Wasn't looking.
Responded. And this is the, you can see the medical debris, and then this is where the firearm was.
So it was that I was just trying to see that because that kind of give a distance to where he was laying at versus where the weapon was.
And this is the, you can see the medical debris.
So that's the medical debris she talking about right here, and it was way over here. Let me see what y'all saying. How the cops know that's who was wanted, who their guy was, then this don't make sense. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how did they know, but they basically said that they knew about the stolen vehicle, so I could assume that somebody called and reported it stolen, and then they spotted it there and all that. But that ain't necessarily how it went down. And then Alma said, why do I feel like the cops are lying? See, it's just like, I mean, we need to see proof. Just like in court, in a court of law, when something happens, they're supposed to show you proof and it's supposed to be proven what you're saying. And so we see the weapon on the ground. We see the aftermath, but I didn't see it in his hand. I mean, I didn't see it. It wasn't clear. It was a clear picture of it, but it wasn't clear when it was supposed to be in his hand. And so that's where the doubt comes in at. But it was a lot of other stuff that was said too, but that part. But they gonna get off. I mean, that this is everything that they saying. Now, I am curious to know what my guy Taylor is saying about this. So I want to go to his video because, oh, wait a minute. Hold on now. Do we have some witnesses? He did not have a gun. People are saying he did not have a weapon. I'm not sure. This is what is being said. Let's listen at this one.
While running from the police, don't shoot at police.
Wait, hold on. Right. That he got a fact. Like usually he was hiding. He was trying to hide to avoid them altogether, and then he started running. So I mean, it seemed like we would have been able to see it right there when he pulled out. We already know how all this stuff goes, but I'm curious to know what he think about this. Let me see if I'm.
In terrible circumstances where
I guess we seen all that. I wasn't paying enough attention.
that says surely oppression makes a wise man mad. And that is what I think about when I see the man that you just saw, Rodney Hinton Jr., who is the father of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, whose life was taken by Cincinnati police on May the 1st, only 2 days ago. And Mr. Hinton Jr., the man that you just saw in the cuffs, was later arrested for running over a deputy in the performance of traffic duty. And I'm going to show you about 3 more videos that put this incident.
Killed him when they say that he pointed a gun at an officer. Our David from the stolen car.
However, based on the officer,
he was in a bladed position. We all know that young men who run from the police are not intended on shooting police. If they were, then why would they run? Now, mind you, the father that you saw in the video had just seen this body cam footage before he did what he did. Now, you know, it's
Now I know they saying that, but I'm a little confused about that because she's calling him John Doe and not knowing who he is. If the father was there, they would know who he is. So I'm confused on that part. Yeah, I'm confused on that part.
that they don't know if it was intentional, but you know, I have every reason to believe that it was intentional after watching this, but also after watching these people try to explain why and how his son's life was taken. Now, I'm going to show you that same lady right after the shooting of Ryan Hinton, the son, trying to explain to the public once again how and why this officer was justified. He felt threatened for his life.
Right.
I probably can't watch too much of this because it's just blatant lies. It's evil. It's deceitful. It's manipulation of facts. And they just going to paint this video. They're going to stop it and point it and direct you, what lawyers call coloring the video, to what they want you to believe and what they want you to see. Watch this.
Yesterday morning, following a report of a stolen vehicle, Cincinnati police officers were involved in a shooting in East Price Hill that resulted in the death of one man. I'm here with Police Chief Teresa Thigi, Councilmember Scotty Johnson, City Solicitor Emily Smart-Warner, and Assistant City Manager John Brazina.
Let me let this finish playing.
Debris, and then this is where the firearm was. Okay, we'll take a few questions.
The suspect, it was very difficult to see, really shows how volatile the situation is. But it was difficult for us to see if the suspect pointed his gun at the officer or whether he just had a gun and was shot because he had a gun. Can you tell why the officer shot the suspect?
Yeah. So just to kind of give you a frame of reference, the individual is running with a firearm in his hand. The officer is running, so the body camera is kind of jolting as the officer's running. What that leaves us with is a very blurred image, unfortunately. However, based on the officer's interviews, the officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. He was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer.
We didn't see
and
that,
he felt
ma'am.
threatened for his life, and
We
that's why he
didn't.
discharged his firearm.
We didn't see that, ma'am. We didn't. We didn't see that. I mean, we definitely did not see that. But I'm gonna record that little piece and see what all I could see. But I didn't see nothing in his hand. And that was a good question. Like, him having a gun and pointing a gun is different. And did he just get fired on because he had it? But I don't understand, like, if he did have it, and it was in his hand, why didn't he just leave it in the car? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then if they had weapons access to weapons in the car, because they clearly said they found a weapon in the car, right? So that means that somebody had dropped it before they got out the car to run. So is it a possibility that it is a possibility it could have been placed from the vehicle? Because we didn't see it in his hand. And so that's the argument. And a lot of people be, well, y'all don't say nothing when it's somebody from the neighborhood. Now, it's a difference when you a cop and you supposed to be doing your job. Because, I mean, this could have, we seen what happened to, Philando Castile a long time ago when he was, what was he? I wasn't reporting crime back then, but if I remember correctly, he told the officer he had a loaded gun and he was licensed to carry. And he still got what he got in front of his family and all that in the vehicle with his kids and all that. So did he have it did he have it in his hand? They're saying they did, yet we didn't see it. Then it looked blurry. It looked like it could have been something when he was on the ground, but I can't say that it was a weapon or a phone or a spot on the ground. I can't say. But then we also heard her say, like, the officer felt this. Like, that's that whole immunity thing. If they feel like they're threatened, if they feel threatened for their life, they can just simply say that. And no questions asked. Okay, he felt that way, and so it is.
Did the officer discharge?
We believe 4 or 5.
And hit him.
Okay, so that's Police Chief
We believe-
DG saying about 4 or 5 shots were fired. The other 2 suspects, they showed the pictures there, Austin Jarrell and DeAnthony Bullocks, both arrested. One they're still searching for.
Still searching for. And as she mentioned, it was a very quick exchange, about 6 seconds from the time the officers got out of the car until those shots were fired. We've got our Danielle Dindak live in that press conference.
See, people don't be realizing too, it'd be backstories to this stuff and all that. But see, if 9 times out of 10, they probably got some criminal stuff going on, and the public is gonna automatically be like, well, if he did this, he'd do that. But that's not how the law is supposed to work. Like, did he actually have it? Did he actually point it and all of that? Whether he did or not, he is gone, and ain't no bringing him back. And his father did what he did, basically was an eye for an eye, but it wasn't because it wasn't the same cop. But I don't know, man. That's sad. Either way, 2 lives lost, and the father is about to do his time. And he definitely has some supporters in the courtroom too, because they played a part where he like lifted up his head and it looked like somebody was like behind a glass kind of. Let me see if I could pull that up, because I didn't get a chance to really see it because I was looking for something else also. But it has been a witness that has said that he didn't have a weapon, and I don't know who that witness may have been. Oh, this is the part right here. And one thing that I know that Trump said, he was saying that they was going for automatic death penalty if you unalive a cop. I don't know how that's gonna play out or if it went into law or anything like that, but I remember it being said. What the heck we got going on here?
So the court will now set no bond until Tuesday, when we'll review the statute for continuing no bond under these unusual and very tragic and terrible circumstances. Where will the defendant be housed, and will he be safe? And I ask that because he was transferred, as I understand it, to Clermont County yesterday on my order.
He got the power to do whatever he wants. Seem like it, man.
And you have a safe environment for him there in Clermont County. You'll return him on Tuesday, May the 6th at 8:30 a.m. for a hearing at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, for the record, we'd ask the court to put a bond on him now, but we understand that so not a bond hearing is request.
All right.
One of the things that I'm thinking is that, dang, did y'all see that car? And that's all he got going on? He ain't completely broke up? Wow, did he jump out the car before it hit? I don't know. But that car was pretty mangled.
No bond.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can hold him at no bond for 72 hours,
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
This dude probably so numb. Okay.
Thank you. No, thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man. Let me go
We
back.
as a city take the loss of life extremely seriously in every circumstance. It is always a tragedy. It's a tragedy here today. And the processes we have in place because of the collaborative agreement are here to ensure transparency and clarity as we move forward. Thankfully, all the responding officers were unharmed. Thank you, and I will now invite Teresa Thigi to speak.
Pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They
It was a presentation. That's what it was, a presentation to present officers in a good light. And this young man who was running away from the
Yep, he
police
sure do.
in a bad light. You know, they kept using word like
Yep,
stolen.
BFF. That's why I took it back, because he kind of like, yeah, he kind of like did this mouth movement, like he was like feeling it. He ain't regretting what he did. He is probably numb. He know it wasn't gonna be no justice for his son because of what they saying and all of that. But of course, I don't condone none of this at all. I really don't. It's sad. But did he have a weapon in his hand? I still want to know that. We didn't see him point nothing. We should have seen that on the body cam footage if it happened. It's never like just cut and dry. You know, it's always something shady with this footage. And the one, like I'm looking at the fact that there were weapons still in the vehicle. So why wouldn't he have, if he had the weapon in his hand, he very well could have just left it in the vehicle. But if a cop thought that he seen something and they may have had accidentally thought they seen what they seen, and then, you know, I don't know.
Stolen cars, stolen guns, suspects. This is the gun he had. This was an extended clip. Another gun was in the car, also stolen. The officer faced dangerous split-second decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot allow people to run away with a loaded weapon pointed at them.
And it wasn't pointing.
Once again, that young man was running away from the police because he did not want to get caught with the gun. Not that he was going to fire at the police. And so all of this, once again, is just the disregard of life for that young man. You hear what she said? Well, yeah, he falls, he trips, whatever. You know, this is the suspect we eventually shot. And, you know, we don't know who he is positively now, so we're just going to call him John Doe. They know who that man was. And so that was shortly after they took this life, right? The harshness. Now, watch this press conference, because this is shortly after the father enacted
Thank you,
revenge
guys.
in my opinion, allegedly, because of his son. Now watch their somber tone and their the value of life that they exude in this video, but there's no value to that young man's life as they're describing his loss of life.
Yeah,
Watch this.
That's true.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
I definitely seen the difference. I definitely seen a difference in how they reported it, and he was considered a suspect. I mean, if we didn't see him pointing a weapon, hell, they didn't see it either, unless they got another body cam footage that we looking at. So Taylor is not disputing that he had a weapon. He's saying that did he point it or not. I don't know if he had it or not. I'm saying I didn't see a weapon, but I know what they saying. And so it's just sad all the way around the board, because the one thing for sure, two for certain, just don't run. You can't, I mean, just don't even do it. Because all you got to do is be black to get shot, because they don't give you no chances at all. And at the end of the day, 2 people lost their life, and 3 because the father is about to go down. And ain't no telling what he gonna have to go through in there. But did that kid point the weapon? It's sad. I don't know what the heck they was into. Seemed like they was into a lot, but so the police put up, saw a car at a dead end, ran the tag, found out it was stolen, got out and chased a suspect they didn't know, and shot within 6 seconds. Yes, that's the thing. And then the part, it was kind of confusing. I heard her, I mean, I would probably have to listen at it again when she was explaining how the partner seen it or something, and the one that ended up firing at him wasn't the one that seen it. Somebody running by while he chasing another guy, and he seen it and started yelling gun, gun. Like, it was a lot going on. It was a whole lot going on. They got supervisions. But that's the part I was trying to figure out what made them approach it. But it sounded like the way that she told the story, it sounded like they noticed the vehicle and knew that it was stolen and all that stuff. But it could have also worked where they just seen him in a parking lot and put up on him. Just feeling like they were suspicious. But what were they doing in the parking lot? What parking lot was it? Like, when did this car get stolen? Then they talking about a stolen vehicle, and a weapon was stolen from another vehicle, and then that vehicle was stolen, and then they in there with ammunition and weapons, allegedly. I can't do that in 6 seconds on a video game, man. 6 seconds. They're running. You can't even run from them. They don't chase no more. They fire at you. They ain't chasing. That's what we've been looking at. And it's unfortunate. It's making me think about that kid. I cannot think of his name right now. And I'm talking about it happened in like 3 seconds. He was just walking down the street. And I think they heard some gunshots. And then they seen him walking and just assumed that it was him. And lit him up. And I don't think he had a weapon at all. But that's it, y'all. That is the story. It really ain't nothing else to follow. The kid is gone. The father is gone. The other kids that was involved in it, I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep my eye out on that part. And also to see what witnesses are saying, because apparently it was a witness. Let's see.
Terminated or
let me see.
Scripture says Leviticus 24:17. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. And in this case, you know, like the brother who called me. Now, mind you, Cincinnati is where, you know, right outside of Cincinnati is where the white supremacists came in Lincoln Heights, the all-black community. That same sheriff was indifferent to the people's concern about that. And so the brother who called me about it was like, yeah, man, I was just telling somebody when that happened, man, if every time this happens, because it's the same narrative, like you can go through this page and it's at least 50 to 100 stories the same. Young black man running away with or without a gun, all of a sudden it's target practice. Black men run away, because I've had to run away with some illegal substances once again, and committing a crime is not right. So therefore, the law is supposed to do their job. They're supposed to arrest you, not take your life. Like,
and that's the part that a lot of people seem to forget. And it's just like, well, you know, it is. He had this and that. But yeah, it's more to it than just he had it or not. Because it's legal, not necessarily at his age. Do you have to be 21? I think it's certain weapons you can have at 17, 18. Because I remember with Kyle Rittenhouse, he was considered legal with that weapon and got off and all of that stuff. So, and speaking of him, you know, with the Carmelo Anthony case, his name came up a lot. And we haven't talked about it again yet, but it was so much going on with that case that I heard that he was actually suing Dominique, the representative for the Carmelo Anthony family. He said he was suing him for bringing up his name and accusing him of something that he didn't do. And when he said it, I heard him, but I thought in my mind, I'm like, man, he gonna get sued. I hope he's saying. I knew that he wasn't saying it right when he said it at the press conference. He just kind of like breezed over it. But I'm like, wait a minute, it was he said something like he unalived 3 people, and I'm like, wait a minute. But anyway, he came out and was like, he's suing his ass, and I know that when all of the stuff was going on after he got off, he was suing everybody or threatening to sue anybody that had been talking about him during the trial and all that before he got off. He doubled back and sued people. So with that being said, we as content creators, we got to be careful what come out of our mouth. I ain't trying to get Tasha Cade. I want to know how many black people complained about that cop. How many? Black people the cop stop versus white. And it's always. And then he just brought up Lincoln Heights. So that's interesting, but it's unfortunate, man. It is unfortunate. But we gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. A special shout out to my moderators. Thank y'all for keeping the chat safe. And shout out to my members and subscribers and everybody in the bushes. Shout out to y'all too. Y'all please subscribe to the channel. But show me some love by hitting that thumbs up, please. That's all I ask y'all. Hit the thumbs up. But we gonna get up out of here. I'll see y'all in the next one. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if I set one up after this, but I got something set. What time is it? I can't say that I'm going to come back today, but we'll definitely be back tomorrow talking about Naziah Harris. Now, one thing I can say is check out the exclusive playlist. I did 7 through 9 with Marquita's boyfriend, and we talked about what happened after Mark D. and them left. All of that, the landlord, and how all of that happened and all of that stuff. And I also have like the court proceedings when the landlord went to court. I don't know what part it is, but if you look at my Naziah Harris playlist for the live streams, you will see it. It's like titled Landlord, or I think it's in the video, as a matter of fact. So what I'm going to do, since I'm talking about it, I'm going to share that particular piece, because that actually goes with part between part 9 and 10 of the exclusive playlist. And also he is willing to, he said he's willing to come on and answer some questions. So I'm gonna see. I ain't pressing him to come on or nothing, but if he's willing to do it and y'all want him to, that would be cool. Let me know if y'all do. I left a post on the for the members asking y'all some questions. So if you are a member, please check out the members tab and answer my question, because I want to know, you know, what y'all want, different things, different topics and stuff like that, and different focuses with different topics that we are already covering. So yeah, that's what the next one. I want to dig in a little bit more about Jarvis Butts and get into that. But all right, y'all, we're going to get up out of here. I ain't going to hold y'all up. I'll see y'all in the next video. But check out that exclusive playlist if you have not seen parts 7 through 10, which I uploaded yesterday, between yesterday and today. Peace out, sleuths. Thank you, BFF. Thank you, Alma. Thank you, Dab. And thank you, Miss Patty. Thank you, Sleuth Nation. Smack them thumbs up on the way out, y'all. I know y'all ain't all hit them. I don't even know how many thumbs up I got. Not enough. Peace and love, y'all. We out.